Hello and welcome to New Junction. So you join me this weekend at the Lincoln and District Model Railway Club's post-modernisation exhibition. And as you can see, the advanced ticket holders have just started coming in. It's about 9:30 a.m. in the morning, and I'm flanked by some absolutely stunning layouts. I've got Lock Tap, the N-gauge layout to one side here. I've also got Gillingham, the O-gauge layout as well. Stunning. In terms of shops that are here today, we've got TTC Diecast up in the corner. We've also got Case to Loco as well, so some real names for this show. Right, hopefully I'm going to bring you some closer footage of the layouts around me, and join me soon.
Welcome to Gillingham. This is the replacement for Leavesden, and it is 63 foot long.
It's huge. It's the biggest layout here, I'm sure. Longest layout here.
I believe it is. It's a play on words. It's reminiscent, parts of it are reminiscent of Gillingham in Kent, and the level crossing and the local stabling point is more or less as it was back in around the 80s, early 90s. So now what we've done is we've built a through station as opposed to we had a terminal station before. So now we've got another 12-foot storage yard or fiddle yard with a yard in front of it. It's split, and then we've got an 18-foot one here. And the idea is that we run Network Southeast, and we're trying to represent the trains that ran roughly between about 85 and 95, 96, just pre-privatisation.
Yeah. There's a nice bit of third rail going on as well.
Yeah, it is third rail. It's double O rail on chairs, and the units come from Peter Clark Models, who's actually Peter Clark is the owner of the layout. So we've been working on this together around 18 months because obviously it's too much for one person on their own. So we've actually built it. He's built all of the stock, he's built all of the houses, everything on it. This gent has built himself.
He's done a lot of night's work on this layout.
He has. We've been solidly at it for the good 18 months. It's been fun to build. It's been hard work. We have an extra long wheelbase van that we get everything in.
So you're almost on 7.5 tonner territory, aren't you, with this?
Not quite yet, I'm glad to say, but yeah, the boards are very heavy. Some of the boards are really heavy. And if you focus on the building, you'll see it is an exact replica of Gillingham Station. And it was, the kit came from KSL Laser.
Yeah. I was going to say, I suppose going back to the stock you've brought, is the bulk of it kit built or ready
Most
to
of
run,
it,
or?
all the electrical units come from Peter Clark Models. He's invested heavily in those, and you've got Harps, VEPs, Hastings units, tadpoles which have come off of the Hastings units, and thumpers. And he's also, so the locals, 73s, 31s, 20s, 50s, 56s, they're actually PRMRP models. They're built from their brass and white metal kits.
Yeah.
And the 47s, the 33s and the 60s are modified Helgen offerings, which some of them we've repainted. Like the 47s, there's some there with the ScotRail livery on it. There's some there with the mainline red stripe livery, and they've all been repainted, and some of them we have revised the tanks, and if you look, there's a couple of them on there. The Rail Freight red stripe is one of them, and there's another one which is the Rail Freight general one. Their tanks are separate, where we've cut through the original Heljan tanks and modified them so that they represent a different variant of a 47. Yeah. So we're trying to get as much in it as possible. So we actually have 3 50s, and they are all were from the Just Like the Real Thing, Pete Waterman.
Yep.
And I think now they're available from MM1 models, which has taken over the Pete Waterman range. And I think soon we're going to have Helgen offerings as well. So we may have a couple extra 50s on board.
I think we're just out of shot slightly, but there's a big table to my right, the viewer's left, full of O-gauge goodies.
Well, yeah, we have 2 6-foot tables and a 4-foot table, and we're just discovering today, as this is the first outing the layout's had, and all of us have been overwhelmed by actually how big it is, because obviously when you're building a layout this size, we do have a garage which is about 22 foot long.
So you can only put...
We can only put 3 or 4 boards up together, and we've had to build it, test it, make sure it was all right, and then move on, pack it, move on to the next part, and do the same all over again. And it's amazing, really, how, you know, when you actually see it in its entirety for the first time, it's actually overwhelming.
It is massive.
And all of us are really, really proud of the fact that we've been able to build such a lovely unit. And the idea is to inspire other people, because whatever scale you're modelling, whether it's 3mm, 4mm, or 2mm N gauge, the idea is to show you what you can do, and you don't need to build a big layout like this. But yeah, something like this could be achievable in N gauge or 00 in a loft. It's possible.
I think it's getting permission to build something like this is usually the hard
part.
Well,
yeah, we're lucky really, as we're older gentlemen now. I mean, we've been doing this for over 20 years now. It's a long time, you know, we're all getting a bit grey, and we're definitely a lot older now, but, you know, and wise. But we've learned a lot, and we're still learning. You never stop learning. This is a fantastic hobby.
Things like forgiveness is easier than permission.
Well, yeah, but we've got very understanding partners and wives, and, you know, they're happy for us to come away of a weekend. Not every weekend, but, you know, we do try and do half a dozen shows a year, if we can. It depends on what invites we get. And of course, not everybody can accommodate such a large layout.
It's definitely popular.
I think so, and I think as well we put cameos in because we've actually just got it up and running for the very first time. We haven't put our Can You Find. Now this is a little trick that we've built up over the years, where there's little cameos on all of our layouts, and we ask people to find various things. And what it does is, the ladies and the younger children who may not have a real interest in that, but come along with their husbands and parents, they actually can linger and they get quite heated up and quite, you know, excited about trying to find all the little cameos. But we will put that in eventually. We're in the process of doing that now. But there's certain parts, if you look at the layout, you'll find there's a little man drinking a mug of tea with his feet up in the chair. There's people chatting, there's cats in various places, there's dogs on the layouts. We do it all the time, and it really helps people to see exactly just the tiny little pieces. The figures won't move, only the trains, but the fact is they're in poses that imply that they're actually engaged in either conversation or something.
It does make such a difference on the layout.
It does, it really helps it. And you know, a lot of the figures I've painted, and Pete's painted a few himself, but you know, we all bring different aspects to the building of the layout, and we all know what we're good at, and that's what we stick to. And there's never been a better time to get into O gauge.
Oh yeah.
You could have what would normally have been a 6x4 board or a 6x2 or an 8x2 board. You can have a little yard, you know, you can buy little Terrier tank engines, or you can buy pannier tanks, 08 diesels, you can buy all sorts of little wagons that you would have had to have built years ago. So whatever your interest is, that's how you start.
How do you run a DCC end-to-end layout when it's 56 foot long?
Well, we use lens controllers. There's a brain, which is this box here.
Yeah.
There's a 250 volt
Power supply.
Power supply, and that actually runs a lot of the lights and a lot of the points as well. So what we've got basically is the locals are DCC, which is run off the lens system in our case. And if you look at the panel here, if my young associate just moves to the side, you'll see the panel is a traditional panel that looks like a diagram on a signal box. So this is actually the track plan, and this is worked by ordinary analog control, which is the little box there on the left.
Yeah.
That controls the panel. So we actually still flick the switches.
There's three of you controlling it at any one time. Are they controlling three separate locos, or
no?
Is it sort of sections?
With this layout, we're still on a learning curve.
Yeah.
Generally what we have is we have an operator in the fiddle yard who sets up the trains for dispatch, and we have a gentleman or a lady, we have a lady sometimes, and what happens is they are the drivers, and they control the movement of the trains. All we do is we set the trains up in the fiddle yard, all ready to go, and then we work from a sequence. This is our sequence here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
everybody has the same copy of the sequence. The person who's doing the main operation has it, and it says at the bottom that this is his copy, and the people who work in the fiddle yard have their own copy.
From the outside, the other side of the table, as it were, it does seem very complicated, but you make it look seamless.
Well, I think the idea is we've all got certain jobs to do, and we all know that we can do somebody else's job. As I say, because it's the first time out, we are still learning the new system ourselves. And the idea is we've made a few changes in the actual sequence already, because when you're sitting there writing the sequence, the idea is that you start with X amount of stock, and when you've finished, you should be back. All the stock should be back in the same place that it started.
Yeah.
That's the idea. So it is interesting just achieving that.
Does it ever go wrong?
It doesn't go wrong once we get the system in place. So what we'll do now is tonight.
That was a yes.
Yeah. Well, yes, it does go wrong sometimes. It normally takes 2 or 3 outings with the layout to actually get the sequence into where we want it to be.
Get it nailed.
So, yeah, to nail it.
So thank you very much for bringing me a closer look at Gillingbourne.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Okay.
Hopefully enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks very much. I think we will, and I hope other people that have come to the exhibition today will actually go home inspired and think, I can do that, but just in a smaller.
I certainly will.
Thank you.
So there we go. It's now long after closing. I think we're coming up to probably 9:30 at night now. As you can see, everyone has gone and I'm left on my own in an empty hall. But what an absolutely fantastic show. I will definitely be back next year. The post-modernisation theme has been a brave theme for the organisers because it is quite niche, but as a modern image modeller, I've just found the show absolutely immense, absolutely amazing. And I think all the people who came today also found that. It's been very positively received. Right, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I'm now going to go home and go to bed, but thank you very much for watching as ever. Take care and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.